Stormwater Fund is adamant about bringing to the council possibly within this year. And I don't want to not leave it in there. We could just take it out and end up with a budget in the black of $121, but I'd rather not do that, but for us to know that it's there in case it is approved and planned for going forward, because according to the statute, unless it's an emergency of grave necessity, we are not supposed to balance the budget because you change the problem with the tax rate. So that is why I did what I did on the Stormwater Fund. So it does show a total of being in the deficit about $207,879, I believe it is. Otherwise, because the money in the bank, it is a balanced budget. And that's all of them there, unless you have any questions on any of the other budgets I did present. I do apologize for not bringing that up at first.
Is there anybody that moves to the next item too quick?
Okay.
My motion stands.
We still have a motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, public hearing in order to receive public input on proposed ad valorem 2020 property tax rate in the city of River Oaks at a rate of 0.697375 per $100 of property value, which is effectively a total tax rate increase of 0.022859 per 100 value, or 3.39% from the 2019 tax rate of 0.674516 per $100 of operating of property value. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate.
Did y'all hear the mayor?
Not very well. Yeah. We right along with him.
Read 13 and vote.
Well, that's public hearing.
This public hearing is now open.
Okay, as everybody knows, there's been a change in the law under Senate Bill 2 that was passed this last year in 19. They changed the whole makeup of doing tax rates. Now you have a what is called a no new revenue tax rate, which is the tax rate for the current year that will raise the same amount of property tax revenue for the city from the same properties in both preceding tax years. That's 2019 and 2020. That is similar to the old effective rate, if you remember that terminology. The other one is the voter approval tax rate, which is the highest tax rate that the city of River Oaks may adopt without holding an election to seek voter approval. And the proposed tax rate is greater than the no new revenue tax rate. That means that the city is proposing to increase property taxes. And when you vote to increase property taxes, you have to hold a public hearing, which is what we're doing tonight. Formerly under the law, you had to hold 2 public hearings. You now only have to hold 1. And the no new revenue rate that is from the tax worksheets, if anybody has had the opportunity to look through them, this year was 0.671699 per $100. The voter approval tax rate, again, which is the highest you can go to, it's 3.5%, is 697375 per $100, which is what our city council voted to propose. What staff is proposing that we will do is the tax rate at 0.697374, which is a little less than the voter approval rate. it will still raise us, enough revenue for the budget that I presented to you tonight. And how you go about projecting the revenues, so that everybody might understand it, is, I based it on a 99.5% collection rate. Let me tell you why I've done that, because, Tarrant County was doing 99.6, and in my research, and in this year, I'm gonna collect right at 100% of what we projected last year, and when I say I mean the city. And, so we take the TAD certified property value that, that was certified at $384,710,933. You have to deduct the value of taxes on property for elderly and disabled that are frozen under our tax ceiling. And once you subtract that amount from it, then you actually end up with a tax base of $318,209,771. So from that point, next I calculate the 99.5% of the collection rate. And on the tax rate that I have presented to the council tonight, it will raise, find out where I'm at. It'll raise, hang on just a second, bear with me. Too many budget sheets.
Is that the 93,308?
No, that's the amount that it will go up. Paula, you have the front page of that, of the budget. Okay. It will end up with, the projected amount would be $2,570,925. That is at a 99.5% collection rate, based on a proposed rate of .697374. Now, what your ceiling tax revenue is the second thing that you use to come up with your total revenue. And, our ceiling tax amount this year was $364,732 that you would add to it. Only I took 99.5% of that to come up to $362,908.34, and that's where I come up with the total of $2,570,925. And that was the amount of money I need to balance the budget that I proposed to the city council tonight. I looked through the tax rate data. I would encourage you to do it if you haven't already. Cards were sent out to each and every one of you to show you how to get onto that website, or to give you the link anyway. And in going through it, most of you remember that have been on the city council for a while, that River Oaks was like the second highest in Tarrant County at one time. Well, now River Oaks is down to the 7th spot, and there's other cities whose rates have escalated a lot more over the years and have passed us up. But we're standing almost right in the middle of the pack in Tarrant County right now, at the rate that we're proposing tonight.